Rev it up and welcome to Cars Yeah, show number 2139. Be prepared to be inspired.
This is Cars Yeah, where you'll enjoy interviews with inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Mark Green is here to provide you with a fuel injection of automotive inspiration. So get in, sit down, buckle up, and get ready for a wild ride here on Cars Yeah.
Hello, inspiring automotive enthusiasts, and welcome to Cars Yeah. Today I'm in beautiful Ashland, Oregon, with a very special guest by the name of Sam Rabinowitz. Sam, welcome to Cars Yeah. Do you have it in gear, and are you ready to release the clutch?
I'm ready to go.
Now, I'm almost saying that with a little bit of trepidation because we're going to be talking about EVs today, and I don't think they have clutches, right?
No clutches, actually. We teach people how to drive using one pedal or no pedal.
Yeah.
We call it one pedal or no pedal driving.
Exactly. Well, we're going to have some fun, no doubt. Now, before I give you a proper introduction, could you share one little thing that maybe people don't know about you, Sam?
Well, I'm a physician, actually trained as a family physician, a medical director at a clinic. So
Wow.
I enjoy creating new things from nothing, and therefore I'm a serial entrepreneur. And so I've had a number of companies that I've developed and worked with in my life, and this is a company right now that I've developed with my wife. Is really an incredible adventure that we're on.
Wow. Well, as if physicians aren't busy enough, sounds like you don't sit around very well.
Not much.
Not much. Well, that's very cool. Well, physicians, noble professions, taking care of all of us. So I thank you for that. Is your wife a physician as well?
No. My wife, actually, she has an interesting history. She used to represent movie directors and producers. She was a vice president of a company in Century City.
Wow.
And actually started out representing GM vehicles in movies.
Oh, cool. Okay. Product placement idea.
Yeah.
Well, that's very cool. Sam Rabinowitz is the co-founder and CEO of Drivyn. That's spelled Drivyn. Drivyn's mission is to provide the best possible training for future, new, and existing Tesla and EV owners, enhancing their experience and safety with Tesla's technologically advanced vehicles. Drivyn Performance Dao's mission is to develop the first world-class carbon-neutral racetrack, a raceway club, an advanced simulator for electric vehicles, and a racing a Metaverse. How cool is this? We're going to learn a lot of new things today. So plug in your EV, sit tight. First, a word from our sponsors, and we'll be right back. Covercraft's newest 5-layer indoor cover is especially engineered for indoor use, providing maximum dust protection when your vehicle's stored in the garage. Your 5-layer indoor cover is custom tailored with Covercraft's attention to detail, form, and fit with the quality and attention to detail that's been their standard since 1965. Even if your vehicle is always inside, dust and fallout can damage the paint, and an extra layer of soft, breathable material protects from accidental bumps and rubs. Covercraft protects cars, trucks, motorcycles, RVs, trailers, and watercraft too. Every one of my vehicles is protected with a Covercraft cover, custom fit to fit the car like a glove. And I have a deal for you. If you use the code YEAH21 at covercraft.com, you'll get 10% off your order plus free shipping. That's right, 10% off and free shipping. Simply use the code YEAH, YEAH21 at checkout. Covercraft, protecting the things that move you. I was tired of my rates for my collector car insurance going up every year for no explainable reason. My carrier seemed to be turning into a media company versus an insurance company, and I realized that a portion of my policy premium was paying for all those so-called free media goodies. So I did my homework, I talked to knowledgeable collectors, shopped around, and discovered American Collectors Insurance. They've been serving the collector car hobby since 1976. You last that long by properly serving your customers' insurance need, not with a lot of fluff. ACI is ranked the #1 online collector car insurance provider according to Google, Trustpilot, Facebook, and they offer their real person guarantee live support. No never-ending phone loops when you need help. Plus, because you don't use your classic car as a daily driver, you could save up to 40% compared to regular auto insurance. American Collectors Insurance provides agreed value policies. So if you experience a total loss to your collector vehicle or it's stolen, you'll be paid the amount listed on your declaration page, less any deductibles, of course. No ifs, ands, or buts. Give them a call today and ask for your free quote at 866-ACI-YEAH. That's 866-224-9324. Tell them you're a friend of mine, Mark Greens at Cars Yeah. American Collectors Insurance. Classic car insurance designed by collectors for collectors. Jim Canova is a past guest here on Cars Yeah, and he's detailed over 8,000 vehicles. And that kind of professional experience leads to innovation. He was tired of uncomfortable stools and creepers and being down on his knees when detailing cars. So as a result, Jim thought, you know what, there must be a better way. And he invented the Bumby Seat. His unique design gets you off your knees and your bum onto a far more comfortable seating position for all your low-level automotive detailing. The Bumby Seat, with its patented full flat design, allows you to adjust your position to the task at hand. Convenient side trays hold your car care products, tools, cloths, or a tasty beverage. Built for the toughest driveways and garage tasks, the Bumby Seat has wheels that roll easily over almost any surface, and it makes a great around-the-home adjustable stool for hobbies, yard work, or take it to the car show. The full flat design makes storage a breeze. Jim has launched an Indiegogo fundraiser, and you can get in on the start of what's sure to be an industry favorite. Go to Indiegogo.com and type in Bumby Seat, that's Bumbee Seat, to be one of the first in line to start improving your automotive detailing experience today. That's Bumby Seat on the Indiegogo.com website. A fun folding mobile seat design. And guess what? You can get 15% off your Bumby Seat if you use the code CARSYEAH when you're at the Indiegogo site. That's 15% off. So, Sam, we are back. Let's go a little deeper into the corner, as we like to say when we get on the tracks, because we're going to be talking about moving fast and racetracks. First and foremost, this transition into Drivyn from being a medical doctor caring for patients. What spurred this transition, this major pivot?
Well, what spurred it is we actually got a Tesla. And I've always been involved in business, and ever since I was actually a teenager, I grew up in a business family. And so I always think of different ways of making things better. Not that it's easy to make a Tesla better, but there are some things that we're lacking, partly educating folks about how to use the Tesla truly the way it was meant to be driven. Part of that's where the name of the company came from, Drivyn for success. And so when we first got our Tesla, we actually took a train up to Portland to pick it up because we had an option. Either they could drop the car off at our house and we wouldn't really get any instruction at all, or we could pick it up in Portland and there they would be able to show us all the bells and whistles of the vehicle. And so we went over there. And they were very nice, very professional, and a lot of time was spent, obviously, with the paperwork, getting everything finalized. And I would say it took about 15 minutes of showing us, setting up our app and showing us how to get started. My wife says it was like 5 minutes, but I'll give them the benefit of the doubt.
Yes.
So then they just said, okay, you guys are all set. And this was actually a trade-in for my wife. I said, okay, go ahead. You take it on the road. And she said, I'm not driving that thing.
Uh-oh.
And so anyway, I drove it to down a couple of hours down to Eugene, where we actually took the train from, and then we're about 2 hours south. And so we picked up my car, which is a 4Runner. It's an SUV. My wife never really drove it. And so we were going to go ahead and exchange cars, and she wouldn't drive it. I mean, she actually preferred to drive my big SUV rather than the Tesla because she had no idea how to use it, honestly. And I'm a person that tends to take challenges, and so I kind of learn as I go. but that wasn't her. And so the next couple of hours driving by myself while she was, driving my SUV, that's kind of where I picked up how to use a Tesla. And I'll tell you, it was kind of scary at some points, using full self-driving where it changes lanes automatically. You kind of have to trust that it's going to slow down if the car in front of you slows down.
Yeah.
There's so many little things that you're just not used to when you're driving a vehicle like that. So that's kind of where I really was able to experiment and try things. And so I became pretty proficient at it, but it took her a while. And so at one point we were actually showing a friend of ours the Tesla. My wife said, why don't you tell her a little about, how about this car? And I said, it's really a great car. I love it, everything about it. And the lady that we were showing around said, it kind of looks a little complex to me. And I said, it's just like a phone. It's so intuitive, you can learn as you go. And she said, but this is my life.
Yeah, you learn on a phone sitting at a desk, not driving 80 miles an hour down a freeway.
Yeah, at the time I really didn't even think much about it. I said, no, it's really simple. It's not, you'll get the hang of it. And it actually took me the next morning, I do my best thinking in the shower. And I said, realize, I like it. She's absolutely right. This is a vehicle that is so complex. It has over 500 different settings and lights and combinations of settings. And most people just don't use it the way they need to use it, or they should be, to get the maximum benefit out of it. Everybody can just get the basics and drive it like any other vehicle, but it's not meant to be driven like any other vehicle. And so you miss the whole experience of a Tesla if you don't learn properly. And so that's kind of where I came up with the idea of having a peer-to-peer type of network to be able to create an app and be able to have trained people in every corner of the world or the city. Let's start with the United States, who are enthusiasts to be able to train others to connect with others who want more training in Tesla.
Well, this is pretty fascinating because I've not even driven a Tesla. And when you go to buy any car these days, and the world's changed so much with the car buying experience, but I remember the last two cars I bought new, which we still have them. They're older BMWs. The gentleman spent quite a bit of time with us, the salesman, sitting in the car, walking through everything, how everything works, way longer than 15 minutes. And in the case of me, I guess I'm kind of like you versus my wife. We've kind of married same people, very smart women, but the technical side of cars they're not really that interested in. They just want to be able to get in it and drive. So it's been a learning process, but I never thought about all the complexities with a Tesla and then how that could scare somebody. So when you think about what you're creating here with this app, how will that interface with a potential user? They'll download the app, they get in their new Tesla and it walks them through everything? Is that how that will work?
Actually, we have a website and it's a responsive website, so it works great on any device. So you don't have to download an app; you just go to Drivyn.com, and then you can select an advisor, and it'll ask you for your location, or it'll actually ask you whether you agree to allow it to determine your location where you are now, and then you can pick from any advisors that are in your area. Okay. And it's very similar to Uber, where you can just, if you need a ride, you just get on the app and you choose your ride.
Interesting.
In the same way,
yeah.
It's that simple. So it's called, it's peer-to-peer type of platform, connecting people directly with those people, the people who want a service with people who can provide that service.
So I'm making a big assumption here, but you would think, okay, why doesn't Tesla do this? But you think about all the cars they're delivering. I mean, there's a time issue there and a person issue there. And the way Tesla's created the buying experience, which is completely radical in the sense of the way most people buy cars. Although with the supply chain problems that's been happening with COVID, I was just at a car dealership last week and they had no new cars. It's just, he said, well, every car we get in here is already pre-bought. We have a lot of used cars, but there's nothing you can drive that's new. And, because it was a Porsche dealership. And they said, because we can't get cars here. And the ones we get are already sold and nobody wants somebody else driving their car. So the whole car world has been turned upside down. And maybe this is a push in the direction and you just saw the future when you started this a little bit. If you could only have seen the future of COVID, you could have stopped it, right? As a physician, that would have been a nice thing to do. Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the things I mentioned in the intro, and I want to learn more about this because I'm not familiar with it, DAO, DAO. What is DAO?
Well, DAO stands for Decentralized Autonomous Organization.
Okay.
And it's an organization, it's an entity. In some states, it's a legal entity, just like a corporation. And it allows people to come together and become a part of an organization, almost like a co-op, where people can pitch in or people can actually have a say in the organization and what the organization is going to develop, what the structure is going to be of the organization. So so people basically are members of the organization and they can share in it. And same as a corporation where you've got maybe a handful of people on the board that make such decisions. But this allows a much wider array of people to come together.
Okay. Kind of like a Wikipedia thing almost?
I guess you can say that, maybe. Yeah. I mean, in some ways, I haven't thought of it in that way, so I have to give it a little more thought. But in some ways, yeah, people can come together and have a vote, and they have a membership in that organization. Part of it is also the way the organization is funded. In our situation, the DAO, there is a membership on different levels, and people will get 1 to up to 15 votes, depending on what membership level they're at, and then they become a member of this organization, and it's kind of a fundraising way as well to be able to get the organization up and running.
So for Drivyn's Performance DAO, you're working on developing the world's first, I guess, carbon neutral racetrack, a raceway club, an advanced simulator for electric vehicles. I go back to, again, as if you're not busy enough being a doctor. What are you doing here? This is absolutely incredible. I mean, this sounds like a huge, major undertaking. How or do you see the future of this carbon neutral racetrack, raceway club, advanced simulator, all this? Holy cow, Sam.
Yeah.
you must not sleep.
I sleep very little.
Yeah.
I enjoy what I do. So it's good. My best working hours are between 10 and 2 in the morning. So unfortunately, I have to wake up at 6 in the morning to,
yikes,
to work, but, but that's what I do. So Drivyn started out with their mission to train people in all aspects of electric vehicles. One of our missions was to take it to the next level of performance. Teslas and other manufacturers are creating performance vehicles, and Teslas are truly like rocket ships. I mean, you just hit the accelerator and just takes off. Some Teslas are 0 to 60 in 1.9 seconds.
Yeah, hold on.
The Tesla Model S Plaid. And so they're perfect for racing and it's important to also, when it comes to racing, to be safe and to have different courses for safety, being able to control your cars in certain situations and so on. So I went to an event in November. It was in Sonoma. It was sponsored by Holly. It was their first event for electric vehicles. And what I saw was a whole new generation of people that had electric vehicles, and it was all types of electric vehicles. But most of them were Tesla because that's like 80% of the market right now. They were really excited about taking their vehicles on the track. Whether drag racing, whether autocross, whether a road course. So I actually took a road course. I've never been on a track before in my life, and I met some incredible people, and I really fell in love with it. I actually met the head of the training course for Holly, and his name is Mitch Wright, and actually I spoke with him, and he loved what we were doing, and we actually partnered up with Drivyn Performance. We're putting together courses for performance type of driving and safety features, and we're actually going to roll it out next week in San Luis Obispo at the California Tesla Takeover event. And so that was the beginning of that whole journey. And one of the things I've noticed is that the track it's made obviously for internal combustion engine vehicles, it's a little different because at least at this point, electric vehicles are much heavier, and a lot of them are meant for the street, not for the race course, right? But in order to bring in a whole slew of people that have never really been in racing before. I mean, it's a great opportunity, I think, for the whole industry. And so we came up with some ideas of being able to build a track specifically meant for electric vehicles for this type of a new crowd. So putting obviously everything that Mitch has known, and he's actually been a part of developing racetracks in the past, managing raceways and in his life. And so it just all seemed to fit together. And so we came up with the fact that when you're using electric vehicles, part of the whole movement is to try to use renewable energy. And so I'm into solar energy. I've got solar in my house and I plug my Tesla in. And so it's amazing, at least for that usage. So we figured, hey, we can build a track using all solar panels and wind, and wind generators and any reusable type of energy, and be able to have a emission-free, carbon-neutral racetrack. Lots of advantages to that. Also, you can be closer to cities, less noise, the engine noises, and so that was at least that part of that. And I've been studying crypto and what's going on with that. I actually took in the Senate for a company called Is Dao. Is Dao actually was a company that came together, also a decentralized autonomous organization, to build golf courses. And I said, there's a lot of similarities here. And so that's how we came up with Drivyn Dao to build racetracks.
Pretty wild things. Well, we'll take a short break for our sponsors. When we come back, I want to dive a little deeper into the racing version of this a little bit, maybe how it merges with NASCAR in some way. That's a wild idea. So sit tight and we'll be right back. You listeners know that I'm a huge car care fanatic, and my friends at AutoGeek created their Wolfgang Deep Gloss Paint Sealant for perfectionists like you and me. Wolfgang, a deep gloss paint sealant, is designed to provide long-lasting protection and a glossy, slick finish that, well, it's unmatched. The use of polymer technology ensures your paint is protected from environmental contaminants, those damaging UV rays, and lasts up to 3 months long. By providing the glossy look of carnauba wax with the longevity of a synthetic formula, Wolfgang, a deep gloss paint sealant, is the best of both worlds. Go to autogeek.net to get yours for the best product selection on the internet today, along with their skilled technical support. AutoGeek.net is where I go for all my detailing needs. That's AutoGeek.net. I've discovered Linkage. It's a new quarterly publication and website that covers the automotive market, driving, restoring, collecting, and discovering your passion for motor vehicles. Linkage is about experiences, opinions, and values. Linkage is an actual informed, reasoned opinion based on first-hand experiences. A talented Linkage team covers the automotive world, the people who share your passion and mine, smart, considered, rational, and experienced opinions, ones you can learn from and grow. That includes our passion that drives auctions and the collector car market. So come with me and join us on this journey. And be sure to use the code CARSYEAH when you subscribe, and they'll give you $10 off. Boom! Linkage, geared for the automotive life. Subscribe today at linkagemag.com. If your car started today, well, thank a tech. If that truck delivering your goods today got to your home or your business, thank a tech. If that airplane you rode in took off and landed safely, and if that boat you're riding in arrived at the dock safe and sound, that's right, thank a tech. One thing the pandemic has taught us is that great techs keep America rolling. They are essential workers and we need them. Support career and technical education by getting involved with TechForce Foundation. It's a Cars Yeah charity of choice. Learn more at techforce.org today. So we're back from our break. Let's talk a little bit about the tie-in with NASCAR and electric vehicles and the Metaverse, as you say. This seems so opposite polar to the idea of NASCAR. NASCAR is big, busting engines and noise and speed and all this, and then quieting down NASCAR. Interesting. So talk a little bit about your thoughts on the merging of NASCAR and EVs in the Metaverse.
Yeah, actually, it just came out, I think, a week or two ago that there was a leak that NASCAR is actually working on an expo in February for all electric vehicle type of racing. And yeah, the world is heading in that direction. There's no question. They're talking about in 2030, 50% of the vehicles on the road are going to be electric vehicles. I don't know if that's going to be the case or not, but it's certainly heading in that direction. Technology, I think, is there to do that. Personally, I think if all the components are there and they can get enough batteries, I don't see any reason why it wouldn't be, at least for the general public. So certainly everything's heading in that direction. It's interesting because I read that they're planning on actually having artificial sound for the vehicles, an exciting kind of a sound that the vehicles can emit.
Yeah, and there's another contradictory thought.
When you see cars whoosh by you, they're electric. It's not that it's silent. You can hear the tires. You can hear the movement. I mean, it's a whole different sound. It's actually I find it a very exciting sound. I kind of compare it to, it's almost like sailing. You still can hear, if you've sailed before, everything is silence, but you can hear the wind, blowing past you, and depending on where you're facing towards the wind. I mean, it's a whole different experience, but it's still a very exciting experience. And so we'll see. It's hard to say, but I certainly, you can create any sound you want to create.
Well, yeah. And, when Fisker first came out, they did this with their cars. They put this kind of odd sound into the cars because they were worried that people walking on the streets wouldn't hear a car coming and they'd step right in front of them. And especially now with people using their mobile devices and never looking up, they're already doing that. And you take away the sound of buses and cars and you could see more of that. The other thing that I mentioned in your intro is your idea of creating an advanced simulator for electric vehicles. Can you share your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, that's even more exciting to me because something that I've always loved, creating different things. And I think technology is right there now. It's possible to do something that's never been done before and truly combine the real life feeling of being in the car, or actually being in a car, and being able to be in a simulator at the same time. And so we put together plans for building a simulator that allows people to be able to drive their own vehicles onto the simulator and truly drive their vehicle while their vehicle is actually stationary. But they have the same G-forces, the same feeling, and being in their actual car, and the simulator around them, or in VR goggles you can wear that will immerse you right into the race. Literally, using the Metaverse, you can actually race against people that are right on the track. And so it's combining real life, IRL, if you've heard, real life, with the Metaverse. And that's part of Web 3.0 is the immersion experience of combining real life with that of the virtual world. So part of our model is building a racetrack on a Metaverse, and being able for people to be able to actually have an exact replica of their vehicle, including all the specs of the vehicle, the way it looks on the Metaverse, and so people can race their vehicle both on the Metaverse and in real life.
Wow, you've got some big plans. This is incredible. Yeah.
Got to dream big,
Well, of course. Yeah.
It's all possible nowadays. So we're definitely making it happen.
World is moving very, very fast. The challenge is keeping up with it. I'm going to be a bit of a car psychologist for you today and crawl into your head a little bit, Sam, because you seem like a very interesting guy and your brain has got to be an interesting place for me to go. So I'm going to make an effort. I'm going to make an effort here. If you were reincarnated or recreated as a vehicle, and this isn't what you want to be, this is your perception of yourself as a vehicle, what would you be, but more importantly, why?
Well, let's see. I think I certainly would choose a Tesla at this point. I would say a Tesla Model S Plaid, which really is first of all, it's a technological vehicle. I mean, I feel like I'm at the forefront of technology. I always loved technology and being there. It's got all the challenges of almost perfection, but not quite there. That improvements can occur and they're still evolving. And so I'm always evolving. And so I love challenges. I love being on the edge. And so I would definitely, that would be it.
A Tesla Plaid. That kind of makes sense. I think that makes sense. Do you like reading? Is there a great book that you've maybe read in the last year that you'd like to share with our listeners?
Yeah, I tend to just read a lot of bits here and there. Not too many books, but I guess the book that always kind of sticks to mind is The Moon is Down by Kurt Vonnegut. that I've always appreciated. I mean, that's just something that has always stuck with me. It's a very, very, very moving book.
So today I'm going to enable you to go on what I call the ultimate drive, which means I'm going to provide you with any vehicle in the world. Maybe in your case, it's a vehicle made in the future that doesn't exist. You can take it anywhere and you can go with anybody, even somebody who's passed, which opens up a world of opportunities. What does the ultimate drive look like for a guy who's looking way into the future?
Oh my goodness. Anybody that I would want to be with, huh? Well, yeah, I was kind of thinking, Elon Musk. I mean, he's definitely a visionary, and Steve Jobs. I mean, I've always really admired his mind, if you will.
Yes.
I know people that have worked in Apple, so I know how difficult sometimes a person like him could be. I think definitely he's changed the world in so many ways, and I've followed him from when I was 15 years old myself, and I tend to pride myself in being that kind of a visionary person who thinks the impossible.
Yeah.
Thinks that to make things so complicated, they're actually simple for people to use. So I always want to improve people's lives. I mean, that's me being a doctor, and that's in a sense I think who I would like to take a trip with. Yeah.
Well, maybe we put you in a vehicle with Steve and Elon. Are you going to be in a Tesla then?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
Okay.
Be in a Tesla, be in a Rivian, okay. There's a lot of beautiful technologies out there nowadays that are coming through. So, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Moving fast. Well, you've taken us on an interesting and unique glimpse into the future here today, Sam, and I appreciate you spending time with us. Before I let you go, though, could you share maybe some words of advice, wisdom, a success quote, or a mantra to leave us with?
George Orwell, I tend to respect his way of thinking, and he once said, "The imagination, like certain wild animals, will not breed in captivity."
I love that. No one's shared that with us either here on Cars Yeah, which you brought a lot of first today.
Oh, okay. Great. So, yeah. Yeah,
and of course we all think of 1984 and
freedom, how important freedom is for for human beings and well-being and
for creating
innovation. Yes.
For innovation. I mean, that's one of the things that, and I'm glad you brought that up because you hear these kind of rumblings, especially, I won't pick on young people because I have young people in my life, my kids, that are promoting socialism, say. And it's like, well, that diminishes freedom for your ability to look forward and think forward. And imagination, like certain animals, need to be free to develop. And thank goodness we have this great country to do these kind of crazy, wild things. And you think about all the incredible things that have been invented around the world, of course, in the past, and it's because people are free to do that. So I like that quote very much. How can people learn more about Drivyn? And again, that's Drivyn.
Well, certainly you can go to Drivyn, Drivyn.com, and also DrivynDao.com, DrivynDao.com.
Okay.
We'll tell you all about our racetrack, and it gives you a chance to get on the white list, which is our list of people that will be invited to become members with Drivyn Dao. All
right. Now, do you have to be a member of Mensa to get on that white list?
And anybody can get on the white list that has a vision and wants to be a part of what we're doing.
There you go. Yeah, I love it. I'm pulling your leg a little bit here, Sam. Yeah. Well, I really appreciate you sharing this forward-thinking vision of what you're doing there, Drivyn. It's absolutely fascinating, so cool. And I want to do a shout-out thank you to our mutual friend, David Triana at Otter Public Relations. David, thank you. You bring some great guests here to Cars Yeah, and Sam is definitely on the high list, the white list, we'll say here today, for innovation thinking and, a guy thinking way outside the box. Sam, you're tremendous. Thank you for taking time out today to share this vision. We'll make sure on Sam's show notes page you can learn more about Drivyn.com by going to their website, and I think you should because what they're doing and what's coming is going to blow you away. Until you and I talk again, my friend, I'll see you moving very fast down the road.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, this was great fun.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's ride here at Cars Yeah. Drive on over to carsyeah.com to find show notes and inspiring automotive fun. Download your free copy of Filler Up, a fun book filled with gorgeous photographs of fuel filler fun, including quotes from more inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Download your copy today, and we'll see you next time on Cars Yeah!